Welcome back. I'm Nick, and I'm here to talk about The Conjuring: Last Rites. And before we begin, I did watch all the previous 9 Conjuring films all at once before going to see this film. And I put the experience over on our TikTok, so please go check that out. I personally don't like these movies. There's a lot of consistency issues for me that really take me out of the experience. A lot of the times the demons or spirits are super overpowered, and there's not really much that the humans can do to combat that other than just wait out the clock until the last 15 minutes of the movie where something happens that's kind of complete BS. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this in order in which these things kind of happen in the movie. So, minor spoiler alert. If you don't want that spoiled or plan to see the movie soon, go ahead and leave a like and come back to the video later. This is also the 4th Conjuring film that director Michael Chavez has made for the series, which is pretty divisive because I understand the fandom is very hit or miss on his movies. For me personally, I enjoyed The Conjuring: Last Rites. It was different. It was more action-packed. It actually had stakes to it, where in the other Conjuring movies, there really isn't anything to fear because you know the background of Ed and Lorraine Warren, at least in the real world. I know that they lived to be pretty old, or at least Lorraine did. So there's never any sense of dread that any of the main characters are going to pass away from any of this stuff. And that rings true for all of the other sequels as well, including this one, even though it's marketed as, oh, they might die, they don't. So to start things off, we see the Warrens as young adults, and Lorraine is pregnant with Judy. This is kind of a strange choice because the Warrens are played by different actors, who I thought did fine, but from the first Conjuring movie, we see a flashback to 1968, and this scene only takes place 4 years prior. So I'm not sure why they couldn't just get Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga to do these scenes themselves. That choice is a little strange for me. However, the scene itself was fine. The actors did a good job. Immediately after that scene, though, is where this starts to break down. One of the things I learned while watching these all back to back to back is that they have a very bad pacing problem. And what I mean by that is usually the first to second act of the movie goes very, very slowly. Not a lot of demon interaction or ghost interaction happens. We see the Warrens doing their thing somewhere away from where the main story is happening. We see bits of the family of where the main story is happening and kind of the quote-unquote infestation phase of the demon or spirit interacting with the family. And it takes a while before things ramp up and the Warrens actually get to the place where all the action is. And that happens in almost all of the Conjuring movies, so it isn't unique to this movie. It's kind of a staple for the series, which is just something that I personally didn't like seeing. I think you could cut out a good hour to an hour and a half of this movie and still be totally fine story-wise. There are a lot of scenes that are very unnecessary, in my opinion. There was also another strange decision to change the Warrens' house on the outside for this movie. I don't know whether that's due to real-world complications of filming around the house that they've used for at least, 4 other movies. It's just another continuity thing that was a little weird to me and just inconsistent. This movie seems to have a lot of the same jump scares and camera angles and recycling of shots that the rest of the Conjuring movies have. Again, it seems to just be a staple of the series. Moving on to the strengths of this movie, which are, again, kind of the strengths of the franchise itself, is that the designs of the ghosts and demons are very cool. They're very spooky, they're very frightening, they always have exaggerated features, which lead to great jump scares. There's also some really exceptional special effects in this movie, from vomiting glass, a giant mirror attacking people, to a basement slowly filling up with blood. All of it was done very practically, and it really helps throughout the entire movie, trying to give that believability factor to it. But then they seem to make another odd choice by throwing in really random CGI scenes in this movie. And the CGI is not good. There's one scene in particular where they shoehorn in Annabelle because they have to, and she's like this giant version of Annabelle coming after Judy, and most of it's in the dark, so you can't see how bad the CGI is. But even the little bits of flickering flashlight you see that illuminate Annabelle's face and features, it's not good. There's an even more egregious shot that's completely CGI of the house that they're in, and the camera goes out the front door, up and around the house, and to the back door. And it is one of the worst shots of CGI I've seen in a modern movie in a long time. It was completely avoidable and unnecessary. I don't think that shot really added anything to the movie itself. But then we get into the acting, and of course, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson carry the movie, as they often do. As personally, the ones that didn't have the Warrens in them were a little bit lower ranked for me, because they have such a good chemistry together and charisma, and they carry the entire series on their backs. So major props to them for keeping this thing going, at least for now. I'm going to go ahead and give you my rating and score. I gave this movie a 5 out of 10, which is on the lower end of the Conjuring movies. The overall series, I gave a 6 out of 10. Remember, whatever opinion you may have of this movie, you're right. But if you enjoyed it, that's great. These movies are obviously very successful. You don't get 10 movies in a series without having success, and this one looks like no exception, bringing in over $80 million to the box office this weekend. So congrats, Conjuring Last Rites. I'm sure there'll be another one, and we'll review that one for you as well. So thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I will see you in the next one, and just remember, I'm just a regular dude doing regular reviews.
I think the issue is 21 Pilots released their new single